All right, sorry, I forgot to post a link for the video here. Uh, I'll give it just a second here for some people to get on. I'll go through. All right. So this is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 5 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, October 23rd. So looking back at yesterday's session, uh, still just very tight for the Russell and the Dow. Right, they had their move down the day before, both of them, and they're just a little tight. You can see that the Dow fared just slightly better. It got back up into the value area uh, from the previous day and did tag a couple of the signal prints where the Russell just stayed below value area low. Looking at the ES, it just opened up below value, come back up into value, and just hit value area high. Looked a little bit above it and failed, and then come back into range, and basically closed right on the point of control from Monday's session there. Uh, Looking at the Nasdaq, very similar, opening right at value area low, just went through value, rejected at value area high, tagged the gap fill. I think pretty much, might have missed it by a tick or so, but pretty much right to the gap fill. Come back down, and then, you know, went back up into these signal prints and almost took out all of these signal prints. And now, at the end of the day, you had pretty much a split distribution. Right on value area high is where it was. Looking at what that did to structure, you have a couple different markers, right? We have the excess and A for the Nasdaq, and I would be a little bit cautious taking longs below this level. I'd more favor taking shorts below this level, and then two-sided between this excess and A, and then up into the split distribution around that settlement. That should be two-sided, and then above there, I'd be favoring. Leaning long, and that's if you don't think it's going to be mean reverting, right? If you think it's going to be mean reverting, uh, you're going to be basically doing the opposite of what I just said, right? You're going to be favoring it just to stay inside of that day one more day today, which I find to be an unlikely scenario. But if you do think it's going to be mean reverting, you'll be looking to buy with, uh, looking for some signs of seller exhaustion again at the bottom of the range and then come back up. We'll get into more of that in a minute, looking at that. But we had single prints on the ES. You can see how quickly, even after by the end of the session, how you've taken it out. And one of the dot components must have reported yesterday. I didn't look into it, but just straight back down to the bottom of the range from 4 o'clock to 4:30 or to 5 o'clock. Uh, Looking at the news flow for today, we do have existing. We have a Fed head on at 9, which is in 2 minutes. But it's just opening remarks. No big deal there. Then at 10 o'clock, existing home sales. Uh, we have the ECB Lagarde speaking at the European Financial Challenges at the Atlantic Council in Washington, D.C. So, uh, you know, she could utter some words that move the market. 10 o'clock is when we see some volatility in the market. Anyways, I don't know if anything will be really attributed to her. Um, and then looking down at the end of the day, another nothing. We got crude oil at 10:30. Nothing really at noon. Another educational and workforce conference in Richmond with Barkin. The Beige Book at 2. This has the Beige Book. I always put a blue star on this. It's usually a complete snooze fest, but this has moved the market in the past like 4 standard deviations from what it should be moving it. Uh, Keep in mind, it's just one of those things that you want to have your stops on, right? This is not even usually a stop run event, but you want to have stops on your uh, really on your positions. If you're still in them at 2, you don't need to close out before there, but you need to have the stops on because this can get out of hand when it does get out of hand. It's only once every few years it does get out of hand. This is a monthly print there. Looking at the title of the video, we have Tesla after the bell tonight. So that's really going to be what, you know, is your driver. So you want to be flat by 4 o'clock, basically. Looking at positioning real quick, not a lot going on today either. Uh, the Qs are currently trading 494, and we're at, this is right here where this level is. So below this, things get a little bit you can get an acceleration to the downside potentially. Holding above there is a little bit slower, two-sided chop more than likely, but below 494 is really where things can open up a little bit to the downside. If we look at the weekly up here, it's just kind of a flat range from, all the way to 490 and then, 485. Looking at the SPY the same way real quick. Right now, the SPY is trading 581. Uh, the floor should be 580 for the week. But if you look at today, right, we got 580, we got 578, 577. So your floor is really not until 577 is where it should come in. You would have that's where acceleration to the downside could potentially pick up is below 577. To the upside, you're looking at 587 is probably around your top end. And again, we're trading 581, so that would be uh, basically 55 handles on the ES higher. So watch about 10, 11 points down from where we 14 points down on the ES from where we're currently trading. So that would put it at 58.58 on the futures is right around where this 580 is. Looking at the cash, you can see there's just the for the week, it's just the bigger levels. We closed yesterday at 58.50. We are down 20, so 58.30, and then you can see that that's where we are, and you can see 5800 has a little bit of a nud, but this is pretty open to slide back and forth. There's really no big magnet areas to draw anything from. Looking at and yesterday I was talking about looking for some downside targets, and I said one of the comments I made was you have to get below yesterday's range, otherwise we're just at the bottom of the range once again, uh, and then that's what it happened. So the more times that we hold uh, this low here right around this 58.60 to 58.50 on the futures, uh, when it does break, right, you're leaving more. It should be a bigger move down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today is the will be the ninth session, uh, and we'll see if we can break the bottom range. To me, acceleration would really start picking up right around 58.50. Otherwise, it's just the bottom of the range once again. Looking at one time framing a little bit more in detail here. Um, as we were looking at the bottom of the range, right, this 58.50 area, we also have at the top of the range this 5900 to 5920 basically is where it's been. So, above or below either of those, in profile theory, we always have a look to start with, right? So you look below, you should get uh, a run across either side now when you go. What you want to watch is the VIX should be, on the way down. If it's the VIX should be increasing as you're getting a flush, and if on the way up the VIX should be dropping as you're getting a bid. If that doesn't happen, you're just going to fall right back into the range once again, more than likely. That would be your high probability trade. Overnight action, 23 points. We're right at value area low after closing at value area high. So we've, kind of done an end around. If you look at all the indexes, the Russell and the Dow are continuing their weakness in this overnight session anyways. The Dow is below those signal prints that it couldn't quite finish off yesterday. And then it's got a split down here at 42,883 that you want to watch to see if it holds or not. And then those levels for the Nasdaq that I'm really watching, this is the chop zone for me, is between this 20,425 basically up to 20,513. Uh, and you can see we've had some bodies that went up to 526. So, I would even extend that to the upper side mentally, and 525 and 425 are really your markers. At 100-point range, I expect to be more chop, and then to see if something can develop above or below those levels. Above that level, you got, the gap fill value very high, and then if you can surpass that, you're looking to finish those single prints off to the upside, right up here at 20,602. And then to the downside, you can see there, if you get that flush, there are some good markers down, 20,164, and then 20,060 to 20,025, and then coming all the way down to 19,905. All this is on. That would be about a 500-point drop. Don't get, I'm not saying that we're going to get that today, but you have to know that that is on the table as a scenario that we could get all the way down here by the end of the day. Uh, you just have to watch the day play out and unfold. But if we start, doing what I was talking about yesterday, you come down, you hit support, you consolidate weekly, you get a weak bounce, and then you break through it and you hit the next level, and you repeat that process. It's probably not going to stop all day, right? And that's what we're going to be in for at some point in the near future. That a little bit more of a major pullback is going to happen. And then you have to see if it's a 1 day and done or not. But we are due for a liquidation break. So I am more favoring watching for signs that set that up. And then and then on the other side, just playing just watching the context and trying to get in. Basically, just I'm scalping to the upside, I guess is what I should say, and looking for a little bit bigger swings to the downside if we start breaking down. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.